Here we want to sketch a graph of the piecewise function. So let's start with the first piece. We have that when x is less than -2, our graph is going to look like x squared minus 1. That is a parabola that has a vertical translation down 1 unit. So let's take our x squared minus 1 and plug in -2. And we're going to evaluate. So -2 squared is 4, and 4 minus 1 is 3. So we get the point -2, 3. However, notice that x is strictly less than -2. So we're not going to actually include this point. To note that we're not including the point, we're going to use an open circle at -2, 3. Let's find a second point. We need values of x that are less than -2. So maybe we'll try -3. -3 squared is 9, and 9 minus 1 is 8. So we get the point -3, 8. Well, -3 is less than -2, so we will include -3, 8, and we'll use a closed circle. There it is. And now we can just draw our parabola like so. Let's now look at the second piece. When x is greater than or equal to -2 and less than 3, the graph is -3x plus 2. Well, that's going to be a line with a slope of -3 and a y-intercept of 0, 2. So let's take -3x plus 2, and let's evaluate it at -2 and also at 3. So starting with -2, -3 times -2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. So we get -2, 8 as a point. When we think about -2, x is greater than or equal to -2. We are including -2. So we'll put a closed circle at -2, 8. Now let's evaluate the 3. So -3 times 3 is -9. And -9 plus 2 is -7. So we get the point 3, -7. But notice that x is strictly less than 3, so we're not including 3, -7, which means we're going to use an open circle at 3, -7. There it is. And now we can graph our line using those 2 points, like so. All right. The next part. When x equals 3, the function will equal 5. So that's just going to be a point 3, 5, which we are going to include. So close circle there. And then lastly, when x is greater than 3, the graph will be the absolute value of x minus 4. Well, that's absolute value that has a horizontal translation to the right 4 units. So let's evaluate the absolute value when x equals 3. So I'm going to plug in 3 for x. And the absolute value, 3 minus 4 is -1. The absolute value of -1 is 1. So we would have the point 3, 1. But notice x is strictly greater than 3, so we're not going to include 3, 1. We have to use an open circle. So open circle at 3, 1. For our absolute value, because the graph has a horizontal translation to the right 4 units and no vertical translation, we know that the vertex is going to be at 4, 0. And then The right half of the V shape of our absolute value graph is going to come up like so. And then we can draw our segment in our ray. So we get this. And we also have this. And there is a sketch of the graph of our piecewise function.